Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. So, getting the week started, getting the week going. If this is your first time hopping on, my name is Anthony Kaufman, and basically created a video series that I'm doing on my personal page indefinitely. And I created it because I've been working to change my life and grow myself as an individual over the last few years. Really all starting out by my wife sharing Tony Robbins' book with me, kind of just unlocked a little urge that I had inside me that I really didn't have a name to. And every time I share something that I've learned with somebody and I see it make a transformation in their life, it's just some little thing that pushes them forward, it just fills me up. And I feel amazing when it happens, and that is why I'm creating this video series, because I want to see it happen in other people's lives. And I figure the more content I share, the more likelihood I have of just something falling on someone's ears at the right point in time in their life to really unlock whatever it is that they've been needing to hear or needing to do. And my message for today is definitely piggybacking on a message I heard yesterday morning at church. I know a lot of you on here might not be religious, but went to church yesterday, and it was exactly in line with some things that I've been listening to and reading and whatnot, and it was just perfect. And I want to start it out with a story heard a long time ago from Les Brown. And what it is there's this guy, every day he lives very close to his work, so he walks home from work, and his neighbor gets a new dog. It's Pitbull, okay? And he's walking home from work one day, and all of a sudden, this dog pops out from nowhere and chases him all the way home, barking at his door. He locks his door, closes it just in time, just before the dog can get to him. Next day, same thing. Next day, same thing. Every day this dog chases him the whole way home. He starts to get to the point to where he anticipates it. He sees the dog, he sees that corner that he's turning where the dog pops out. He gets ready for it, and boom, what do you know, the dog's right there every single day. He can't really go another way because it takes him too long, so every day he has to face this dog, and every day he has to run all the way home for fear that this dog's going to bite him. Finally, one day, he had a horrible day at work, and he's on his way home, and he's like, and he starts running. He goes, you know what, forget this. And he sees a brick. He picks up the brick, turns around, faces the dog, gets ready to throw the brick at the dog, realizes the dog has no teeth. He's looking at the dog barking, and it has absolutely no teeth. He throws the brick down, and he goes, get out of here, and the dog runs away. So what does that story mean? To me, at least, and from what I was listening to, I get the message, we're afraid of things in our life, and we allow them to dictate how we act. We allow them to dictate our career paths. We allow them to dictate the choices that we make in relationships and all around the whole board. From things that we're afraid of that don't have any teeth. And what I mean by don't have any teeth is, I mean things that don't have any threat. The only threat is a perceived threat. The threat that we give it. And just to share a little bit of info, actually, you know what? I'll get there in a second. Just listen. So basically, it's this idea of the lion's den, and whether you believe in evil, you believe in the devil, you believe in negative, positive, truth and lies, or whatever you believe, the polar or singularity, whatever you believe in this life. Is think of it this way: is our negative thoughts, our lower thinking, our negativity that we have as humans sometimes, where sometimes we have a prone to look at things in the negative, or we have a way of looking at things in a defeating way. And if you think about it like a lion in the den, prowling around, waiting for us to come up. Waiting for us to come in. The only thing is, this lion is in a cage, it's chained, it has no teeth and no claws. We give it the teeth, we give it the claws, we unchain it, and we let it out of its cage. And how do we do that? By falling into a rut of telling ourselves we're not good enough, allowing ourselves to believe that we don't have what it takes, or allowing ourselves to listen to naysayers, haters, if you will, things in our life that are really just our perception. But the truth is our fears have no teeth, they have no claws, they're chained and they're locked in a cage. We can look at them, we can observe them, but the only power they have and the only meaning they have is the meaning that we give to them. And what do I mean by that is the only difference between exhilaration, excitement, and fear is your perception of an event that's about to happen. So excitement is for something that has not happened yet. You're exciting about something to come. The same person or another person could be fearful of the same event. It's just how we look at it. So the only difference, like going over the side of a roller coaster. Some people have their arms in the air, they're yelling, they're so excited. Other people are clenched and they just want to get off. And if they could get off right now, they would. Like they're just ready to jump off if they could. Like if there was a platform, they'd be on it. It's the same event. Two different perceptions. It's only the meaning that we give it. And again, coming back to this, our perception becomes the reality of the situation. So giving our fears meaning, giving them teeth, claws, nails, to kind of dig into us and attack us, so to speak, is just our perception. And it can change in a second. And just a quick study done that was talked about yesterday in church. And if you guys want to check it out, it's Thrive Church. It's freaking amazing. They have a whole video series online. You can probably watch the sermon from yesterday. But it talks about, there was a study being done of individuals who had like fear complexes, like issues with fear, issues with being afraid and high anxiety on a daily basis. And they found that when it actually came to pass, 85% of the time, the event never happened. So the thing that they were afraid of did not take place. 85% of the time. Almost 90% of the time, the thing that they were afraid of never took place, never happened, never occurred, not even in the slightest. So how many of us go around with our life not doing things when we have an 85% chance that the event won't even happen? Okay? So some of you out there, my worry warts, like how I used to be, you're like, well, what about the other 15%? Because the other 15% must be me, right? You know what I mean? That perception of like, we identify with the 15%, not the 85%. That little bit of worry there, a little bit of fear. Of the 15%, not only it happened, but usually, more times than not, it ended up being, I'll get to that in a second. So 15%, when it happened, they could actually say that they walked away with a valuable lesson. So 100% of the people didn't die. 100% of the people didn't have a life-damaging moment that they weren't able to walk away from with something that they learned. And for those worry warts out there that still think that 15% is high, of the total population studied, 97% was extremely exaggerated perception. And what I mean is, only 3% of that total group studied, so less than, 1% of the 15%, was it an actual serious event that was actually fear-worthy, meaning something serious took place. Like, I don't even know an example, but like 97% of people had an exaggerated view, and of those 85% it never happened. So then you're dealing with another 12% of people. The event happened, but it was highly exaggerated. Meaning, if there was something that took place, it was, morning Josh, it was on such a small level that it wasn't even really a big thing. So 85%, nothing happened. 12%, the people were like, oh, well, that was no big deal. And then there's 3 remaining percent that it's like, okay, that was something bad that happened, but I took away something and I learned from it. So that's an example that we can walk away with in our lives. And the rest of this week, I'm not going to go into it today, but the rest of this week, Tuesday through Friday, I'm going to put out examples of how we can combat it. And the main focus is our greatest habit. So with this, it's not necessarily paying attention to results. It's paying attention to cultivating habits. So rather than working towards a result, we want to work towards the habits, because it's like combat training, boot camp. We want to have instinctual things that we go to strengthen ourselves, rather than the instinctual negative that that a lot of people fall into. I can say that I used to be an example of that. So our greatest habit is taking control of our mind. Cultivating the habit of, no, this is a perception. I got a 97% chance that this is not going to be something that knocks me off. That's not going to knock me off. I'm still going to be in the game. 97% chance. 3% chance something happens, I still walk away with a lesson, I can still move forward with my life. So how do we cultivate our mind? How do we take control of our mind to make sure that when things do pop up, when that little fear bug, and it's like a weed, it's like a cancer in our minds, it creeps in, and for me, like to offer up an example, transparency, like with working out, or reading my Bible, or reading daily, it's a thing of going, well, I can skip today. Or no, it's not even I can skip today. It starts out with well, I can do it later. I can skip a day. If I didn't read, I'm fine this week. And it bears in and it breaks in. So having control of our mind and meeting it at the door and going, no, you're not getting in. Fear's not anchoring in. I have control of my life. And I got a 97% chance that I'm going to walk away unscathed. 3% chance I'm going to be scathed, but I got a lesson. I got something that I can learn from, that I can grow from. So facing our reality that way, facing our lives that way, and attacking each day that way. As I said before, the rest of this week I'm going to be highlighting each day something that we can utilize to lock in that control of our mind. And I hope that this kind of gets you guys thinking for today. Obviously, like I said, we're going to be breaking down actual applications. But go through your day today and think about... I'll leave you with this. Right now, after this video, if you have 5 minutes or you have a break coming up, if you're at work or anything like that, if you're watching me at work, kudos. I need a message from you because that's awesome. But write out unfinished business. A conversation you haven't been wanting to have, a trip you haven't been wanting to make, something that you've been dodging, hardcore dodging in your life. Where you've just been letting it slide, putting it off, you catch yourself turning left when you could go straight and just face it. Write out a couple things. Find the biggest one, and by the end of this week, I'm going to give you tools that you can use to face the event. And next Monday, whether you face it over the weekend or you face it next week, I don't even need you to message me. You will see it, you will feel it for yourself because I've done it in my own life. You will feel the empowerment of yourself and the disempowerment of the situation. When you shine a light on it and you do it and you face it, all the exaggerated fear that you had towards it ends up being nothing. You find a lion in a cage, chained up with no teeth and no claws. And when you see it for what it is, it's amazing how you're like, well, if I can do that, I can do anything. And then that little fear bug creeps back in, and we have to do another anchoring like that in our lives. But today, write out a list of things that you've been dodging, an unfinished list, maybe 2 or 3 things in your life, big things, that conversations with a relative, anything that you've been dodging. And this week, I'm going to give you tools to help combat that. So, hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. If not, make it a wonderful Monday. Take charge of the day. Today's going to set the tone for the rest of the week. So, let's start out on a good note. Perception again. Monday can be the best day of your week or it can be the worst day of your week. The only one who decides is you. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow.